Hello, everyone.
Hello, good evening. Um,
Okay, so we are live,
yeah,
and let me share my presentation. Okay. Mm, Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, how do we make our classes engaging? Okay. So, the three best practices that I will share is from my class. Okay. Then you may share yours. Okay. So, three practical strategies that will help in to ensure that all students participate and are engaged in your class are as follows. The first strategy is think, pair, share, and this most of the teachers who teach the IB and Cambridge, they know this strategy. Okay, and we use it in our class. So what we do is we ask a question, okay, to the class, and then we ask the each students to think individually, okay, about that. We give them 3 minutes, 2 3 minutes to think about it, to note it down in their notebook, okay, jot it down, and then we say that you discuss it with a partner. So the partner who's sitting on your left or right, you discuss it with the partner. Both of them discuss their ideas, okay? And then they come to a consensus and they can share it with the class. So this is what is think, pair, share. Okay, this is one strategy that I use. Now, what I'm also going to do is I will share a video on think, pair, share.
Think, Pair, Share is another one of those informal but really handy strategies to use within your classroom. Can be used across grades, across content area. Some teachers call it turn and talk. But essentially what it involves is a teacher stopping at some important point in the lesson and asking students to think about what that content means for them. Then turn to a partner and pair and talk with their partner about what it is. And then the teacher opens the floor and asks students to share.
I want to talk to you about a strategy called Think, Pair, Share. We do it all the time. Put your hands down for a minute. We also do turning and talking. Sometimes Miss Doyle says turn and talk to a friend. The best part about Think, Pair, Share is the first part, the part about thinking. Because if you give yourself a minute to think about what was read to you or what you just read, collect your thoughts, then you go and share, then there's two people here who have a lot to share, don't they? They have a lot. Can you tell me some of the rules? Because we do have rules, and we practice this, and we modeled the right way to think, pair, share, and the wrong way, especially the partner part. So can somebody tell me one of the rules, quick and clearly, Deja?
If you don't have a partner, join a two. And this is the good way to partner. To get elbow, and knee to knee and start
You could
talking.
either be elbow and knee to knee, or you could do what? Is there another way that you could partner up so I could just glance at you and I know who your buddy is? Maya?
You can just turn to someone quickly and just start thinking and talking.
So turn to someone who's near you. You don't walk right across the room.
Now let's see Miss Doyle's class demonstrate the strategy using a nonfiction text.
So the title of this book is An Egg is Quiet. It's by Diana Aston. and the illustrator is Sylvia Long. An egg is quiet. This is the black-necked stilt egg. It sits there under its mother's feathers, on top of its father's feet, buried beneath the sand. Look at it on the feet of the emperor penguin. This is Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. Warm, cozy. An egg is colorful. I'm going to read you a couple of these. This is the lobster egg. This is the brewer's sparrow. I want you to stop for a minute and I want you to think about this story that I'm reading to you. A couple of days ago, I read to you the book, A Seed is Sleepy. I want you to think for a minute. I'm going to ask you a question, and before you turn to a partner, I want you to really think about the question. How is this book similar to A Seed is Sleepy? I want you to compare the two books in your mind. How are they similar? Thumbs up when you have an idea. Okay, now I want you to turn and talk to someone near you.
Seed is sleepy and the egg is quiet, right? Eggs and seeds don't make no sounds. Only if you like throw them in like the water or somewhere, they can make sounds. Well, yeah, all seeds are like kind of like not white. They're kind of like dark.
So you think the seeds are colorful and different and the eggs are colorful and different. Okay, keep talking to each other. What other things make the books similar and what makes the books different?
Because seeds can't talk and eggs can't talk.
So that makes them similar, right?
The difference between seeds and eggs are seeds grow flowers and eggs don't.
Eggs don't grow flowers, that's true. Okay? I'm gonna do something so that we can keep it kind of fair. I wanna just call in groups partners and groups randomly. Margot.
Well, I said they both kind of look the same, and they mostly both have something inside of them. And Moya said this like the
Okay. Okay, take care. Yeah, mother.
Okay, so there was some sleepiness with both the egg and with the seed.
Yeah, mother.
Ella,
I see.
what did you and your partner talk about?
We all agreed that we thought that it was the same author, and it said in the book that an egg is clever, and then in the book about seeds it says a seed is clever.
And so you think, you had some clues that you think the authors are the same, and guess what? The authors are the same.
Think Pair shares a quick strategy that can be used in the classroom. The design of it, where students think and then pair and then share, is good for those students who sometimes are reluctant to add their voice to the conversation, but by having that extra moment to think about it and share with a friend before talking to the whole class, you may be able to engage some of your students that are less likely to be a part of the conversation.
I can't hear you, Miss Ashika. So sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, if you can increase the volume. We can hear you now, but a little bit.
Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Now, can you hear me? Okay. So, in this particular video, it was not just think, pair, share. Could you list other strategies that you could use in the class? What other strategies did you see? Think, pair, share was there. Okay.
The candy sticks to call out the students.
Perfect. So that is also a type of formative assessment. Okay, it is a formative assessment strategy. for calling out students randomly, and then you don't call the same student, right? And when you use those candy sticks, what is the advantage? Instead of just calling out students, if I use those candy sticks, okay, to call out students, what is the advantage?
Everyone
Why
gets
use candy
addressed.
sticks?
Everyone gets addressed and not just the people who raise their hand or something.
Okay, that was one. That is one. Another one. Do you have any advantage? You
Everybody
mentioned it.
feels,
Hmm.
sorry,
Yeah, Jyoti. Go ahead.
everybody feels they're being valued and they're being heard in class.
Okay, that one. Two. There's something
Maybe-
about being engaged. Priyadarshini?
Yeah, the probability is high, right? Like when my name comes, maybe the students become more
Correct.
attentive. Yeah.
I like that because see,
And I
sometimes-
had done that when I was a student.
Huh. Because you don't pay attention. Students don't pay attention. But when you do this random stakes, everybody has to pay attention because I don't know whose name will be called out. Right? Okay. So that's the advantage of using the candy sticks. Okay. And I used that in my class. And it was really very effective to ensure that each and every one is paying attention. Okay. Any other strategy that you could use, especially those who teach lower classes, primary classes? I'll wait for the 10 seconds. Wait. Otherwise, it will be like, oh, I want to explain everything. I need to model what I speak.
I would like to share an idea that we follow in class. So instead of popsicles or sticks, so now children are very interested to see their names on the screen. So we create a word wheel with all the names, and we spin the wheel, and so they're very excited whether their name will come in the wheel, and that makes it more interesting.
Okay, you can do that, gamifying. Okay, what else? Okay, one strategy that she showed in class was reading aloud. Okay, she had held the book like this, facing the student. Okay, and then she read it out. So read aloud is also there is a technique to read aloud to young ones. Okay, and I remember that because Nawang, my husband, he's a librarian, and he used to teach students, teach the teachers as well as parents when he invited them for read aloud sessions. So you can't just say that, okay, I will come and read. There is a technique for reading aloud to students. Okay, so that was very nicely shown in this video. Okay, anything else? When she started with the strategy, she asked them how it should follow. Okay, so students have a routine to follow. They know exactly what to do when this strategy is used in the class, right? She asked them. So having a routine is very, very important. Okay, so if there is a strategy also, the students should know how to use the strategy. The very first time you will be explaining it to them, but then it becomes a routine. So the students know how the particular technique works in the class. Okay, all right. So I hope this was interesting. I know think, pair, share is very common, but I hope through that video you could learn other strategies too. Okay. All right. So this was about think, pair, share. Why think, pair, share? Because it helps all students to understand the ideas. It improves speaking and sharing skills between the students. So what skills are we looking at? ATL skills?
Communication.
Communication skills. And when we
Social
talk
skills.
about sharing, social skills. Okay. So you can see that you are developing ATL skills through this particular strategy. Okay. And it gives everyone a chance to join in. So even the person who is very quiet will be able to talk to a partner, right? And it increases the interest and the confidence of the students. So this is why the benefit of using think, pair, share. All right. Now, this was one strategy. Second strategy is making learning visible. Reflection and exit task. This is at the end of the lesson. Okay, at the end of the lesson, it is a good idea to end with 1 minute reflection. Okay, give them time, 1 minute time to reflect on what they had learned that lesson. And for that, you can use exit ticket. Okay, and in the exit ticket, you just have to write one question. Okay, or you can ask the students, do you have any one question that you still have that you are not, sure about? Okay, now let me share with you another. So this is about the exit ticket. Lesson reflection exit ticket. What all questions can you ask? How well did you understand today's lesson? So it can be like a scale 1 to 10. Okay, it can be as easy as that. Or a text response. What are you still struggling to understand from today's class? So that they will write. It is a text response that they have to give. What is one thing you'd like me to explain more clearly? So then if you have the same answer from many students, that means that you have to repeat that thing the next lesson. Right? What is the most important thing you learned in class today? Why is it important? Okay, so then you will get to know what each student thinks was important from your class. Right? And what is one thing you would like to practice again? So these are the questions that you can ask in that exit ticket for reflecting on the lesson that you have taught. And this will give you an idea of how much did the student understand, or do they have any further questions as a class. All right. Yeah. So let me share this also. Okay. So this is also shared in the chat. So this was about making learning visible, an exit ticket for reflecting. Now, what is the benefit of this reflecting task? Okay, it will strengthen important ideas. When you ask that question, what was important that you learned in this lesson? Okay, you will get to know from every student what did they think was important. It will give you a quick feedback, right? Formative assessment. It is a form of formative assessment. Encourages thinking about your thinking. Okay, and guides what to teach next. This is, remember, formative assessments are for the teachers. Okay, not for the students. It is for you to understand how much did your student understood, or how many of your students are still confused with what you are trying to teach. Okay, so this is important, benefit of reflection task. Next one, most of the students would like to see something visually. Okay, I'm not saying all of the students, most of the students. Okay, so if you have to give something for the students to see visually, then it's a good idea to use graphic organizers. Okay, now these graphic organizers are also called as mind maps. So mind maps, it will help them to see the relationship between the things that is taught, the concepts that are taught. You can have Venn diagram, which will help them to compare and contrast. Okay, or you can have flow charts if you're teaching any processes. Okay, so there are different types of graphic organizers. And why graphic organizers help? Because it will help the students who are visual learners. Okay, and even to ESL students, one thing that I learned, okay, while teaching ESL students, because I went for my school made sure that every teacher was trained to teach ESL students, because I had Japanese students who did not have any English. Okay, so then this student was in grade 9 preparing for IGCSE examination. Then how do I ensure that the student, learns biology, okay, and the academic language? So one strategy that was told to me was that write everything or draw everything on the board. So when you write on the board, the student will take down and later on can refer to it later on, after the class at home to see and understand. The student can translate it later and then understand what was being taught in class. Okay, so for ESL learners, it is always good to give them some visual stimuli. Then it makes hard ideas easier to understand. I remember I used to suggest this book called Learning with Diagrams. Okay, there is a book for GCE O-level biology, GCE O-level physics, and GCE O-level chemistry, Learning with Diagrams. So all that was taught in the syllabus, okay, it was in the form of graphic organizers, either a flow chart or a Venn diagram. It was in bullet points so that the students can remember easily. Okay, and it was a good strategy for visual learners. So it helps people understand ideas better and gets the students talking and joining in. So when they have some visual cues, then they're able to see and then they start discussing and participating in the class discussion. So it's a good idea to use graphic organizers. And this is one document that I would like to share. Okay, it has many graphic organizers and there is a suggestion for use the different subjects where you can use this particular graphic organizer. So let me share this PDF with you all. Okay. So these were the 3 strategies that I wanted to explain today. I know that all these 3 you must be doing it in your class. But I would want to know what was the aha moment for today. Though this is done, okay, what is that thing that you learned today? In Think, Pair, Share, it will help to activate thinkers. They will be partners and they will share with each other. In the reflection task, where you have to do a 1-minute reflection, okay, as an exit ticket, it makes learning visible and it helps in promoting metacognition. And with graphic organizers, they are visual tools that will help different learners, especially ESL students. If you have ESL students, then graphic organizers are good tools to use. Okay, now I'm stopping the sharing and let me hear from you. What was different or what was an aha thing that you got to know today? Or it was like, Miss Ashika did time pass.
No. May I share?
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, in that exit ticket, when you gave that question, that what is the thing that you want me to teach? And that's great. We know that question. But the best part is that one thing I connected well when you said that it helps me understand if so many students answer the same thing, then I need to repeat the topic again. So that analysis has to be taken back. I just kept on looking individually that he has not understood this, he has not. But to percolate it together, that's a important point I had not picked up.
Yeah, so it's a good idea to make a Google form. Then that Google form comes into a spreadsheet and then you can easily analyze it. And nowadays, now you with the notebook LM, you can use it for analysis. You can just upload it or even ChatGPT and you say that, okay, give me analysis of this particular data that is there.
Actually, the LM notebook, I just got hooked on only because of you. Then I saw 2 more videos to understand. Then it is like, yeah, this is a very so stuck to Google Docs and all these things so many days. But this is very useful. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Tasmin, you have an answer? Yeah.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
At the end of a lesson, I've prepared strips of questions as a reflection, as a conclusion plenary for the plenary.
Mhm.
And the questions are, what did you learn today? What did you not understand today? What was the objective of the lesson? You know, the different sets of questions. And that used to give me an idea where I stand with the class. So the idea you brought up really made me understand it better, that is what I'm doing. And then you talked about the booklet on graphic material, which I found very useful. It's a very useful knowledge because for the ESL students, most of them are visual learners. So
Yes.
it makes it very effective. So that's something great I've learned today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tasmin. Okay, anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I would like to share Marshama this side. And frankly, for me also, I was very keen to know about the graphic organizers. Although I've been using it, but I think I have a very, what do you say, a very simple way of doing it. But I would like to now look into it deeper because I've seen my classes working really good when I use something related to mind map. Some making pictures also for them on the mind map. So, and that is a document today that you've sent me just right now, and I'm going to just sit on it and make some exercises based on that. So that is what thing that really I'm taking home
Oh, thank
in
you.
this class. That's an aha for me, aha moment. Yeah, that you know, I want to just after this call, I want to sit on that and make something for my children.
Thank you, thank you. And I like it, you know, when these sessions have some tools to be taken to class directly and you can use it. Okay. When somebody comes and give bhashan and give theory and all that, it's so boring. But if I can take one particular tool and then I can use it in the class, that is like very exciting for me. So I always feel that I should give something to the teachers so that they can just take it to the class and use it the next day. Otherwise, PD sessions are very boring. Yes. Vishal, you want to add something?
Yeah, for me, everything was aha moments for me. Like right from the word visual learner to tools to think, pair, share. It's really these are, I would say, more than teaching techniques. It's more of coaching the kids. You know, just to connect with them. This is something that I greatly enjoy, as even when I was classroom before getting into boring admin roles. But I would love to say that when I used to teach with the kids, what I used to do is that getting connected with them. And this is something that I'll be sharing in next few minutes after others are finished sharing. I'll go at the end. Something that I really work hard on with my students is one-on-one feedback to them, giving the feedback that after every assessment or after every activity that we do. One of my go-to aha moment for today was the reflection. This is something that I really take very big pride on. Why? Because I do use that Gibbs model of reflection. And, you know, after the activities, when I come back, because what I do is I take the traditional route of, you know, making sure that the objective is on the board, go through the activities and revisit the objectives. So I just keep one objective on the board, revisit them at the end. And when we visit, reflection is used. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Ms. Ashika. It's really amazing. Thank you.
Asha, you want to say something?
Yeah. For me, the aha moment is like formative assessment is for teachers.
Yes, it is for you to understand how much the students have understood and to give them feedback.
Yeah.
Get feedback, give feedback.
That's correct. Very correct, ma'am.
Uh,
Because we know whether they understood or not. What are we trying to tell them, or what are we trying to not? I don't want to say teach them. What are we trying to help them with the topic or like that? I just love that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Tasmin.
I've always felt that formative assessments are more effective and meaningful than summative. Because, you know, at every step during the learning process, we are correcting them, we are finding out they're learning, we're helping them to form the knowledge. Versus summative assessments are for admin purposes. So for whatever reasons, I always feel even if, and during the time of summative assessments, there's a possibility that the student may not perform and the student is very smart for many other reasons. So I think formative assessments are very important and useful and exciting too.
Yes, True. Very
Thank you.
true. Yeah. Okay. Nobody has anything to say. Vishal, you go.
Okay, so what I do is that I'll just keep it very simple because after hearing you, Ms. Ashika, it's too good to. I don't want to spoil the mood of that you have set up for us. So I will just keep it very simple. What I do is I focus on feedback. Why? Because feedback is so vital, and one of my go-to always has been my go-to feedback. There has been two. One is the formative feedback, which is I'm just typing it on the chat. I did not present it on a visual thing. My go-to formative feedback is wow, how, and now. Now, this wow, how, and now, basically, when you have any sort of activity, group activity, or individual presentations or anything, always do remember to keep this wow, what was fantastic. How, like something that you didn't understand, but do not say the students that you are wrong. Okay, just do not use negative expression when you give the feedback because it's psychological and it's sometimes it can be very triggering because students go through different emotion different days and it's like it's like tackling every day. Already they are pressurized by parents, they are pressurized by teachers, they are pressurized by assessments. So when you do that activity, any sort of activity that you do, reflection part of thing, you go with reflection plus also give a feedback on that reflection also. So what was brilliant? What was the positive side of everything that the student did? That is wow. How? Something that you didn't understand and frame it in such way that you did not understand. Instead of framing it, you are wrong. You should not be doing that. Oh, that is not correct. Don't do it like that. No, actually, reverse psychology. Oh, all right, this is what you want to say, but why did you want to say that? Because then that breaks the ice and you start talking to your students and coach that particular students, trying to understand the rationale. And once you try to understand, then you frame it, aha, so this is what you wanted to say, but you didn't mean to say that. You want to say that. So, you connect that conversation. And then the third part is now, means you set a goal for your student, what they have to do and what they need to achieve based on the how. Okay. Your main feedback should be that how. This is the formative feedback. Here comes the summative. Summative feedback, I always follow John Hattie's feedback, which is, what was the process? So when you give a feedback, like, whether it's for report cards or for summative assessment, always try to draw an outline. What was the task? I'm just typing it on the chat box, so no worries at all. So what was the task? What was the process that was expected? What was the challenge that your particular student faced? And then give the student, finish off the feedback with praise. So summative has a task, process, challenge, and praise. So summative is based on John Hattie. If you find John Hattie, he has a lot of YouTube videos. Professor John Hattie is the retired emeritus professor. I'm going to show you two videos, very quick. It's maybe 1 minute or two. Even though if the videos are long, I'm not going to play the whole video. So do also visit the site from AITSL, which is from Australia, Australian Institute of Teacher and School Leadership. They have plenty of resources, classroom observation, videos, and I always refer to Australia because Australia is a diverse nation. Like it has multiple nationalities. Teachers have the same struggle as we do. So that has been them. So I will stop talking here. I'm just going to now show you quickly the video so I can actually, so I don't have to bore you with this. Let me pull out that video very quickly. Sorry for that. In between, do you have any questions that you can ask me while I set up the video, please? Thank you.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jyoti.
I just want to ask you that this wow, how, and now, do you think that we can use it like with grade 6 students at the end of the summative assessment once we are done with it? So basically, what they are doing is they're making the digital storyboard on any of the global issue.
Yeah.
So do you think that once I'm done with that summative assessment, I can do the reflection based on wow, how, and now?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You can use this, the only reason why I differentiated so that your writing style could be a bit different.
Okay,
And wow,
actually, school is only asking for that only. Why there's
oh,
nothing different? It's like I
okay,
have been following the same pattern
fantastic.
from last 2 years.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So
Okay,
yes,
this
of course,
is
you can
it's
use
really
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so as a
Sorry
go-to,
for one more.
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah,
No problem.
continue, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just finish it very quickly. Is that as a go-to reference, you can always use it, wow, hi, and now, and you can structure your feedback based on that framework. However, sometimes, to take it to the next level, I always go to John Hattie's way of providing the feedback, which is,
Okay.
what was the task? What was the process? What was the challenge? And finish off the feedback with a praise because that's very psychological. And maybe what you can do, you can include wow, how, and now in this summative feedback also, if you want to.
Okay.
And you can frame it in that way. Maybe if you write a feedback in form of wow, how, and now, at the end, after now, you can finish off with a praise, which
Okay.
go back to the first point anyway.
Yeah,
So,
got it. One
so
more
what?
thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Jyoti. Yeah.
If possible for you, could you please share any of the sample of self-assessment and peer assessment, also the questions and
Yeah,
how do you guys do it?
sure.
I mean,
No problem.
what could be the strategies for self and the peer assessment?
Oh yeah, that's definitely that's one thing, and this is obviously thank you for reminding me that, Jyoti, because this whole wow, how, and now it goes from the teacher to the student. So you are asking student to student peer assessment, isn't it?
Yes, peer
Okay.
assessment.
Okay, sure. So I will be talking about that. I will be passing that one also a sample very soon.
Sure.
Oh,
Sure. Thanks a lot.
no problem. So quickly, I will just go to the video. I'm going to share. There we go. So tuck, 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 tuck. Okay, let me pull that out. I hope, oops, sorry, I'm gonna stop. Sorry, I'm just.
Also, these links that we are sharing in the chats, they are available only to the people who have come on Zoom, okay, who have taken that pain to come. The others, I know they can watch the video on YouTube, but the links will be shared only with the teachers who have come, who have taken that time and effort to come online.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, Ms. Ashika. I think this has to be a very special kind of resource kind of provision. Very quickly, it's just a 3 minutes thing. I'm not going to run the whole thing, but do watch out. It's called Effective and Feedback Animation. It's on YouTube, and it's being provided by EITSL. EITSL is the Australian Institute of Teachers and School Leaders, or School Leadership, as they call it. So altogether, Australian Education Ministry came together and they collaborated with John Hattie, because John Hattie was in charge of this organization when he took over with the government of Department of Ministry and Education altogether. So here we go.
Feedback is a powerful way to achieve improvement in teaching and learning. It is an integral part of every teacher's practice and, when used effectively, can improve student learning by as much as 8 months. As teachers and school leaders, it's essential to understand what evidence-based feedback is if we're to unlock the greatest possible benefits for our students. So, what does the research tell us about feedback in teaching? Feedback is an ongoing process of goal setting, gathering evidence about student learning, and providing instruction that makes clear the next actions to improve performance. Feedback can be given by the teacher, peers, or the student themselves. 2 evidence-based models for feedback have been developed by Hattie and Timperley and Black and William. Both models propose 3 important questions for both the student and teacher to consider. Where is the learner going? Students and teachers need to be clear about the learning goals and what success looks like. Goals need to be appropriately challenging so the students can succeed and grow. Where is the learner right now? Evidence is gathered about the student's knowledge, skills, and performance relative to the learning goals and tasks. How does the learner get there? This involves clarifying the steps the student needs to take to achieve the learning goals. If needed, the teacher adapts or changes the teaching and learning activities to meet the student's needs. Feedback can be directly related to the learning task, which is useful. However, feedback about the processes underlying the task or about how students self-regulate their learning is more powerful. So, what are the benefits of effective feedback? Research indicates that effective feedback can increase student effort and outcomes, lead to more effective learning strategies, and improve student self-regulation. The benefits for teachers are also significant. Effective feedback practices provide evidence about student learning related to learning goals and the curriculum. This helps teachers understand the impact of their teaching and, if needed, where to adapt strategies to better meet the needs of their students. To improve and sustain good feedback practices, it is vital that educators work collaboratively. School leaders can support teachers by prioritising feedback and implementing a whole school approach, providing access to resources and opportunities for professional learning and collaboration. Teachers can develop their feedback practices by communicating clear learning goals, trialling activities that provide evidence of student learning, planning for task, process, and self-regulated feedback, checking that students understand and act on the feedback provided, and working with colleagues to develop and refine feedback practices. Feedback is evidence-based and inexpensive to implement. It offers a powerful approach to enriching teacher practice and significantly enhancing student growth. For resources that will help you improve your feedback practices, visit aitsl.edu.au.
Okay, thank you. So that was quite okay. And I'm going to share this link on the chat box with you so you can actually at your own time, you can have a look at it. Niveen, I have already passed on in the chat box for you. So that's number one. The next one, very quickly, I'm going to ask you one or maybe just one question when we go to the next one. So what is your important takeaway from video number one? Because there's one more coming up and I'll stop to 2 videos only. I'll let others speak also. So because I'll be going to engagement strategy number 2, which is the reflection, which is very simple. I won't take too long. So what is your key takeaway, if I may ask everyone? What's your main key takeaway about feedback?
I would like to speak.
Go ahead, Jyoti.
Yeah, I think because as I can see in the video that they are showcasing the real life classroom scenario. I think it, you can say it bridges theory with the practice because they are practicing live, demonstrating how feedback can be effectively implemented.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why feedback happens to be one of the highest engaging activities that you can have. So I would say if you have 4 periods to teach in a week in your class about your subject, dedicate 1 period just for feedback to your students. What happens then? Because I'm speaking from both Ashika and me, we are on the other side of the admin roles. So she being the academic director, me being the previous head of school, like principal. What we do, the more we explain to the kids, the better it is, the less you have to talk to the parents, because the kids report back to the parents about how they have understood and how they feel that they can actually have it. So, because, at the end of the day, I'm so sorry I'm using business terms, but at the end of the day, we are there in school because of our students. Yeah. Go ahead, Asha.
Yeah, I would like to say, because after every unit I used to give them like a I asked them to compare themselves, like myself at the starting of the unit and the end of the unit.
Yeah.
So they used to do the Venn diagram and they used to write about themselves, how they understood
Sure.
that conceptual understanding, all those things. So that helps me to find out. In this video also it was saying like, how will you inform the child who is not getting what you are teaching or like that. So there I'll come to know what
Yeah.
the child has understood or like that. That's my feedback now.
Oh, absolutely. And that is so important because I'll be just quickly showing that this part of the second part how it is. So yes, just overall, just if there is anyone else before I move to the next one, go ahead, Ashima.
Yeah. So, just while looking at the video, this is just case. One thing came in my mind, which is like when we're starting something, probably we make one flow chart or something that where we started. So that is the assessing of yourself.
Yeah.
You starting at a point 0, where have you reached up the ladder?
Exactly. Yeah,
Probably we can make a ladder to the child giving the self-feedback in that way. So
absolutely.
that's one thing which just tried, and I'm going to start that very soon. Because,
Wonderful.
it's more important that, you yourself assessing yourself rather than your
Yeah,
peers, your teacher telling you. Your own assessment is the most important thing. That's what I am taking away
yeah,
from this video, first thing. Yeah. Because your
absolutely.
peers and your teachers, they will always give you some or the other feedback
Sure.
naturally, in a natural process.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
giving yourself, sometimes I think we have to do that.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. And I think I agree with you because of the fact that giving self-assessment feedback is really, really wonderful thing to do. And this is something that IB greatly encourages, a program like IB or, now Cambridge is picking up very quickly on the feedback process because that connects to the reflection part, self-assessment and reflection. And this is something now, this is where I'm moving into. Before I move into reflection, one last video. I will just quickly, and maybe I'll just spend only 10 seconds. After this, I'll pass the link on the chat box. Just quickly, do not, the feedback format that I always follow of Professor John Hattie. So I'm just sharing this link on the chat box for you. Then you can actually follow him later on and see. He has tons of videos where he speaks about student progress, student measurement, assessment. So there we go.
I travel around the world. I meet a lot of politicians, a lot of people in charge of education, a lot of senior people. And yeah, they're very smart people. They have the same kind of mission that all of us has. They truly want to make a difference. I don't see the kind of negative, jaundiced view that people have of these people. They truly want to make a difference. But what I struggle with is why do they do a lot of the stuff they do? And I think it's partly because of this politics of distraction. Sometimes it's easier to see things like buildings and new schools and new assessments and new smaller class sizes and better equipment and more technology, all the things that are below 0.4 on the effect size chart. And I think that we in schools also sometimes like the politics of distraction to raise these things because it gets away from truly matters. Let's be honest. What truly matters is teachers' expertise. There's a lot of it out there. It's also very expensive to develop that expertise. And the resources should be going into building that expertise. It's harder to see. And like when you ask a question like, can you see a teacher's mind frame? It's hard to see. But that's truly what makes the difference.
I truly apologize, everybody. Due to time constraint, I really need to stop this. But yeah, please do watch that. I've just passed on the link on the chat box. Now, just as we speak from self-assessment, we are now moving to something very important, which is the second engagement in my little brief presentation is that model of reflection. So there are different models of reflection. The ones that I always follow religiously is the Gibbs model of reflection. The Gibbs model of reflection, it's been developed by the University of Edinburgh. And just quickly share the reflection toolkit, which is, yes, there we go. Thank you for tolerating me. So this little gap of few seconds. Right, so reflection toolkit. Reflection tools are going to be very, very important in your teaching and learning. Please, there are different models of reflection. Please feel free to use the ones that you are comfortable with. But the one that I always reckon is the Gibbs reflective cycle. It's been developed in 1988 by Graham Gibbs in collaboration with the university, and universities around the world, they do use it. One of them is the University of Edinburgh. So what is so special about Gibbs model of reflection? The Gibbs framework uses 6 essential things. Now, when do you use reflection? Now, reflection can be used in the middle of activities, in the middle of your lessons, in the middle of formative or summative. Usually it's good to use it towards the end because they experience the whole thing and then they describe. Sometimes what I do as a language teacher myself is that I use the reflection model in the middle of the unit, saying, okay, how has been your, what's your reflection so far? So I tell them, don't give me detailed paragraph, but just use these bullet points over here. So description of the experience so far. and feelings. This is something very big with the Gibbs reflection model. Why? Because it uses SEL. SEL means social emotional learning that happens in the classroom, which is a very big topic coming up. I mean, it's already emerging for the past 5 years, social emotional learning, especially during COVID times. How do you implement social emotional connection with the lesson, with yourself, with the students? What do they like, they dislike? All of those things. So do evaluate that. Then it comes up with analysis. Now, the big part of specialty after SEL component is the action plan, because action plan is that part of the reflection that helps students define what they are going to do based on what they have experienced. So 2 features about Gibbs model. One is the SEL, the emotional connection of the reflection. The second is the action plan, the strategicness of the reflection. You see, reflection is easy to do, but if you really decompose that, you really have to make it the strategicness of the reflection that comes under action plan. Okay, so you as a teacher, it's not only good for your students, but it's also good for yourself as an educator. That's saying, this is where I need to make sure, this is where my students are. Sometimes, when you run out of steam or run out of ideas for the report cards, you don't know exactly where your students have gone, especially if you are a homeroom teacher. Quickly do a small reflection with your homeroom team. Come together and say, great, look, guys, I don't exactly know where you have gone because I'm not your subject-specific teacher. I teach only selective of you, but I want to know everyone. So prepare a template. You can prepare a template and you can use this link. I'm passing this again in the chat box. And I'm going to quickly stop sharing this and give you the link. Tangible link. There we go. Developed by University of Edinburgh. Sorry. So yes, you can please feel free to click that and enjoy. And you have plenty of templates coming up. So that's all from me with regards to the Gibbs model of reflection. I'm just going reverse now. Gibbs model of reflection, knowing the social emotional part and the strategicness of the reflection. Going back to feedback, wow, how, and now, and of course John Hattie's famous take on why feedback is really important. And of course, just to summarize, yes, you can implement wow, how, and now into John Hattie's way of feedbacking, and also you can use it anywhere, anytime you can. Okay. So just concluding that's all from me. If you have any questions, please do ask right now, because we need to really focus and get things going also with others. Go ahead, please. What's your question? Any questions, any takes, anybody? Any aha moments? I'll take inspiration from Ms. Ashika. Any aha moments from here? Any other take? No? Yes?
I would like to share something. So
Yeah, go ahead.
when we were watching the video about feedback, so there was a point they said that feedback should be based on evidences.
Yeah.
That was making more sense for me. Sometimes we may give a feedback based on our observations or like what do we think about the child or something. But sometimes bringing out that specific instance on what basis we are saying that makes it more valid for the students to accept it or work on that. That was a very very much it just kept me thinking around that. Yeah, that's a aha moment for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Priyadarshini. Really appreciate it. And this is exactly what I was talking about, that when you are a classroom teacher, you need to position yourself. Yes, you are a teacher. Nothing changes that. Yes, you have to do markings. Yes, we have to do all the gradings. But now it's the time, is this generation and in this era where the generation is advancing with AI tools, with overdose of information. They are more equipped than us as teachers. We have to take a different position, different stand. And that stand is of instructional coach, instructional learning designers. We are the learning architects, as some of the schools use it as well. Schools, they use it as learning architects. So we have to be not only architects, but also coach. We have to be that we have to bring back the traditional Vedic approach of Guru Shishya, where we sit, we have that mentorship, and you have to accept yourself that you are not right all the time, and you have to agree, because some rationale the kids present. This is something that I greatly enjoy with the kids when I interact with them. As a teacher, or as a principal, or as a visitor, IB visitor, or a NIASC, or a CIS, any accreditation visitor as well. Go ahead, Gauri. I'm all ears.
Hi. When we look at the Gibbs cycle, I really like this share. It's very stretched, though. It is extensive
it
to go
is.
through the whole process.
Absolutely.
Have you tried to AI it? Like I always see you in the group doing AI to things. So have you
Yeah.
tried to make it shorter or more
Oh,
visible?
yeah.
Something like which is more of
Oh,
an
yeah.
integer. Have you tried that anytime?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So what I've done is that I've just shortened it once the AI got into the market. What I did was I shortened it. What I did was I made sure I included the SEL component and the strategicness of the thing, which is the action plan. And the rest, what I did was I
Already it had so much, and then you added some more. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I did was I just went ahead with a simple framework with wow, how, and now, and then there itself, it covers a lot. I just added a SEL component to that wow, how, and now. So that wow, how, and now plays a huge role into the whole feedback process and reflection process. But now when it comes to formal reflection, because, let's say if you are in an MIP school, at the end of grade 10, they have a presentation and formalities, a formal presentation to the community. This can be a good savior for them to stretch I'm using your words again, no offense, but I'm just using it because I love using those expressions. Sometimes sounds like a wonderful thing as well. So, when they go to DP, when they offer the extended essay in the diploma program, yes, exactly, Gauri. I agree with those questions because these are great accreditation questions that I encourage schools to ask. If a school is doing so, I'll get back to accreditation very soon in the next few seconds. You got me distracted. The politics of distraction. There we go.
Sorry, yeah.
No, absolutely. It's great.
Hey, we are running out of time, people.
So,
1 ghanta ho
absolutely.
gaya.
So,
I have to
great.
go cook food, dinner.
Yes, all of us.
So last 2 minutes, Ms. Ashika. So sorry. So what I want to say is that yes, you can make it short and go ahead with that. And reflection can be modeled completely. And last part is what, so what, and now what? 3 golden questions that I plan to later on when I do some sessions on weekend learning for Global Classroom. I'll be focusing again on accreditation. So these are the 3 questions that we ask as IB visitors or any visitors that we represent. If you're doing something, what is that you're doing? Please go ahead. I'm sorry to promote. I'm not promoting this, but Ms. Ashika, please forgive me. But I just wrote an article last weekend on why accreditation for IB schools are important as well. So that exactly answers this, the process. So just to finish what I'm talking right now, as educators, please do remember, after all what we have learned this evening, make sure that you focus on the process. You have to be process-focused educators. That's all from me. 3 great questions. Thank you, Gauri. It's my favorite topic, accreditation, that I can go on for hours, taking inspiration from Ms. Ashika. Since I think Ms. Ashika, this is our 11th year of collaboration, right? Together.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Super. Thank you, Ms. Ashika. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for coming for this session. I know it was impromptu, but thank you so much, those who have participated here. And I hope that these sessions provide some, value to your whatever practices you are doing in your classes. I hope it is of value, and we are not just doing time pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Happy cooking.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Jyoti.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy cooking and
ma'am.
good
Thank
night
you,
from
Mr.
my
Achal. Bye.
side.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.